Hello, it's Jim Amon here with Amon Real Estate, and I wanted to talk with you about the basics of showing a home. Everyone has their own style or way to show homes, but based on my personality, I show homes based on what I call the heart of a teacher. I view my role as educating the client, not trying to sell them anything. Here are the steps for how I show a home to a new client. Step 1. Prior to showing the client a home, I do an initial home buying consultation at my office or a Starbucks by where they live to discuss the home buying process. During this consultation, I make sure they are educated on the entire home buying process. Step 2. Prior to showing the client a home, I do a phone conference with the client and a lender to get the pre-approval process started. By the end of the conference call, the lender is usually able to let me know the type of loan the client will get and the price range, so I can start discussing homes with my client while they provide the documents the lender needs for the pre-approval. Step 3. Once the lender gives me the green light, I call or text listing agents to schedule my showings. Texting is usually the quickest way to get a reply. When scheduling my appointments, I allow for 20 to 30 minutes at each home. I allow for drive time between appointments. I map out my appointments to go in order of which homes are closest to each other. And finally, I email my client the schedule for showings and the starting point to meet me, or for me to pick them up depending on the situation. But most of the time they will meet me at the house and follow me from house to house. Step 4. The day of the showing. I arrive 10 minutes early and familiarize myself with the home, turn on the lights, and have the house unlocked so when the client arrives, I am ready to begin. Prior to taking the client into this home or any other home, I read them the basics from the listing. The listing price, the square footage of the home, the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, and the days on the market. I always let my clients know before taking them into the home that I'll enter the home first so that the dog can bite me instead of them. And of course, this makes them laugh. But in all seriousness, I enter first because I am not sure what we are walking into. I've had dogs in the home, people showering, squatters, and all sorts of other crazy things. Then I let the client know that I'll be walking around the home and looking for high dollar repairs that may need to be made, and that they are free to walk around as well, and I will meet up with them at the end of the tour to discuss my findings and their thoughts. This gives them a chance to talk between themselves and gives me a chance to provide value by educating them on the condition of the home. I let the client know that I won't be talking to them about floor plans or granite counters or cabinets, as they know what they do and don't like, with the exception of items that will make it, say, difficult to resell, such as being on a busy street or just a really odd floor plan. Like I said earlier, I'm not trying to sell them a specific home. I am trying to educate them on the condition of each home. Once I have explained the basics to my client, I open the door and I enter the home. And once the clients are situated, I start looking for anything noticeably wrong within the home. I start in the backyard and I'm looking for dry rot, major cracks in the exterior of the home, how old the outside condenser is. So anything over, say, 15 years old is not going to be as efficient as anything under 15 years old. What is the condition of the roof? So composition is normally good for, say, 20 to 25 years. Wood shake almost always needs to be replaced, where tile is normally good for up to 50 years as long as it's being maintained. Once on the inside of the home, I look for any water damage on the ceilings. Spots or stains would indicate the roof leaked. I look to see if the windows are dual pane. Normally, if they are the white vinyl type, they are dual pane. If they're the silver aluminum type, you have to look real close to see if there are two panes or not. I look for the furnace, which is normally in the garage or a hall closet, to see how old it is. Again, the 15-year rule applies. Sometimes it is in the attic, in which case you won't be able to look at it. Most of the time, the condenser and furnace are the same age and they tend to be replaced around the same time, but not always. I check to see how old the water heater is. Normally it's in the garage, and normally they're good for say 15 to 20 years. I look at condition of the carpet or flooring. I look to see the age of the appliances. Normally they're good for say 20 plus years. I look for anything else significant that stands out as needing replaced that is expensive, say $1,000 or more to replace. At the end of the tour, I leave my business card on the kitchen counter and I make sure all doors and windows are locked. I put the key back in the lockbox. But before heading to the next house, I let the client know about any expensive items I discovered that will need replacing. And I ask them their thoughts on the home. I have each person rate the home between 1 and 10 so that I get a better idea what they like and don't like about the home. It helps to understand what each decision maker liked and disliked about the home independently of one another. Step 5, I have my client sign a buyer's representation agreement. So just to recap, prior to showing the home, I do a buyer's consultation and I get my client pre-approved for a loan. Once they are approved, I call or text listing agents for appointments. During the showing, I tour the home and I look for anything wrong with the home. So at the end of the tour, I can educate my client on the condition of the home and explain to them the items they will need to budget for in the future if they purchase the home. At the same time, I have them rate the home on a scale of 1 to 10 so they can educate me. Finally, I have them sign a buyer's representation agreement. I hope you enjoyed today's tips on the basics of showing a home. Feel free to message me with any questions on today's discussion. Again, I am Jim Amen with Amen Real Estate. Check back soon for more tips.